Today's video sponsor is GVG, where using my SKG discount code leads to a 25% off across several products, making a Windows 10 serial key only $16. After the payment, you'll receive the key in your account and all you need to do is to introduce it in your Windows settings and bam! You have an activated system. Hello guys, I Shoot Gameplays, I'm Fabio Pisco and welcome to my channel. So for today's video I'm gonna tell you that you need to disable this. No, seriously, we need to make this work. So as for today's video, I'm gonna talk about a Windows setting that will actually make you lose performance. And by disabling it, well, you'll win performance. Because you lost it in the first place when Windows enabled it by default, and yeah. What I mean is that this wouldn't even be a problem if Windows wasn't Windows and Microsoft wasn't Microsoft, so they are actually enabling this option by default in the new Windows 11 22.2, which is called Core Isolation. Well, it is the memory integrity option inside the Core Isolation, okay? But yeah, you know what I mean. Also, if you want to go into the menu, you just need to go to the search bar and search for Core Isolation and it will open the menu, as simple as it can be. If you have an error showing you that you can't open the menu, is because you don't have that feature, the Core Isolation feature. Now, I do have that feature on my Ryzen 7 7700X and I do have it on the 12600K, and I believe this is something new, for example, for the Ryzen 5000 series and above, and maybe on Intel from the 10th or 11th generation and above, okay? This is something new per se, because I tried on my 3800 XT and it wasn't available, so I believe it is indeed something new. But what is actually Core Isolation and why the hell is it degrading your performance? Well, according to Intel, Core Isolation provides added protection against malware and other attacks by isolating computer processes from your operating system and device. For more information, refer to device protection in Windows security. Now, we do understand that this has something to do with security, and that's maybe why Windows activates it by default. But still, you're kind of isolating the processes from Windows and from device. It means that you're adding latency and you're actually consuming resources to do so. And this will degrade the performance even on processors as fast as the 7700X or the 12600K. Don't believe me? Watch this. The first game tested is Far Cry 6 using high settings. This is one of those benchmarks where the margin of error is higher and the results are all within it, let's say 2%. Overall, no difference in this game when using Ryzen 7 7700X, even when CPU bottlenecked. Horizon Zero Dawn is another CPU-dependent title like Far Cry 6, but now also CPU-heavy. Once again, the results are all within the margin of error, with the Core Isolation off results pending for higher 1% lows. Or so it seems. In Cyberpunk 2077, we are mostly GPU bottlenecked in a normal gameplay, and the same happens with the benchmark. Still, it seems that somehow the Core Isolation on actually had better results at 1080p, but once again, it is more or less within the 2% margin of error, so I guess that's acceptable. CSGO is almost fully CPU dependent for those high FPS numbers, and this is actually the first title where disabling the Core Isolation grants us an FPS boost, a minor one of course, but it is there, at 1080p and 1440p, as at 4K we're mostly GPU bottlenecked at around 480 FPS. Marvel's Spiderman is the only title here that actually surprised me, since it was the first one to actually deliver some really interesting results, with a boost of around 10 average FPS at 1080p, where we were mostly CPU bottlenecked. Here we can see that the Core Isolation can indeed affect the CPU performance in games that require high processing, even in a CPU as powerful as the Ryzen 7 7700X. Interesting. And to finalize the test, we have Civilization 6. Once again, nothing major, with all results within the margin of error. This was a game where I expected to see some performance differences, but they weren't there. Maybe due to how powerful the Ryzen 7 7700 is. 7700X, I mean his, so who knows. Once again with Far Cry 6, but now with an i5-12600K and an RX 5700 XT, we have exactly the same scenario as before, with slight variances in the results with core isolation on and off. But like I told you, well, the margin of error of this benchmark is a little bit higher than usual, so it's nothing new, I guess. But going to Marvel Spider-Man confirmed our previous results. The game does deliver considerably lower frame rates when played with core isolation activated, not only on the 7700X but also on the 12600K, even with a card such as a 5700 XT that is more or less on par with a 6600 XT. The difference is not also small, as you can clearly perceive the difference in normal gameplay with over 10 FPS difference in some scenarios. So as you saw, we're running high performance processors like the 7700X and the 12600K, and yet we had performance degrading in some titles like CSGO, but most importantly Marvel Spider-Man. It is heavy in terms of multi-threading, so it means that most games in the future may indeed have an impact in performance in terms of CPU side, of course, because once you went into a GPU bottlenecked state, for example 4K and in most scenarios 1440p, it wouldn't make a difference. But on Marvel Spider-Man, where you are actually heavy CPU bottlenecked, well, having the core isolation on degraded the performance by over 10 average FPS in most scenarios, so it does make the difference. In some scenarios you would see a difference of 20 FPS, which is not to be taken lightly, and that means that in other games it might happen as well. I just tested a few, so it might happen in other games. And like I told you before also, we're testing high performance processors. And as soon as you go to lower performance CPUs, like for example the Ryzen 5 5500, the Core i3 12100F, the Core i3 11100F, as soon as you go to slower CPUs, the difference might be even bigger, okay? I just didn't test it because I don't have any slower CPU on my current builds besides the 3800 XT, and the 3800 XT doesn't actually let you enable the core isolation, at least from what I tested. I updated the Windows and still it was a no-go. It gave me this message telling me that the menu wasn't available, okay? So it is what it is, but if it can actually affect the performance in games such as Marvel Spider-Man and in CPUs as powerful as these ones, in terms of low-end computing, in terms of low-end gaming or budget gaming, well, it may be really a performance hanger. So my advice is to turn core isolation off and enjoy your good performance. And well guys, that's all for today's video. Thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video because that really helps a lot. It really helps a lot. And also, the next video will most likely be DDR5 4800 versus 5200 versus 5600, sorry, versus 6000 MHz, okay? It will be a very interesting video on the 7700X, and after that, all my GPU comparisons will be renewed, okay, with the 7700X, adding FSR, DLSS and RTX tests, so it will be nice. See you in the next one.